What's up, guys? After, geez, what? We have about 9 months now of not streaming very much. I'd like to welcome everyone back. It's been a long couple of months, and super glad to be with you guys tonight. It's Friday. We got a pretty cool flight ahead of us today. A lot of talking to do during the stream. A lot of stuff going on. I'll get my cam on here. We are gonna do face cam stuff still, so. What's up, guys? Yeah, we're just chilling out tonight, and we're just gonna do a quick 30-minute flight up to Goodspeed, Connecticut from Farmingdale in New York. So, quick hop. We are doing it during daytime, not real time. Don't hurt me, but it's just much more enjoyable to fly during the daytime, especially when you're doing something not VOR, VFR in a single engine plane. I mean, I can fly at night, but who wants to watch that, right? So, yeah. Berlin Bear, welcome, welcome. So, couple things. We're gonna just start off. We're in the cockpit. Everything should be smooth. I'm seeing the stream preview and nothing looks broken. So I'm gonna assume that everything's fine. What I am gonna do real quick though is just move that to the corner. And maybe I might just move that to the side too. There we go. Okay. So now that that's adjusted, this plane, I love this plane. It's super nice to fly in. Overall, it's just super realistic. I mean, you could see almost every rivet in the plane itself. It's just a good way to build your knowledge and practice flying a single prop plane. And, it's just the A2A has always done a great job with stuff like that. So I would trust it. So hopping into the flight deck now, we are going to do a few things. Number one, we are going to make sure the volume of the sim is unmuted. There we go. Okay. And what we are going to do next is remove the yoke, remove the control lock, then the yoke. Just me today. Baggage will do like, I'm not taking 50 pounds of baggage with me, but we'll take like 25. Excuse me, guys. I'm a little bit sick still. What up, Bliss? Yes, I know. It's been a while, man. Welcome back, my friends. So everything is good here. Fuel-wise, I'm not going to fill it up. It's not worth it. We got a short strip we're flying into today. It's just not worth the trouble of having to worry about, braking and stuff like that. We still got 60 gallons of fuel. I reckon we won't use more than, like, I don't know, 12 for this flight. And, yeah, I'm not worried at all. Very, very nice airplane. I just love flying it, to be honest with you. That's really all I have to say about it. Yeah, I enjoy it. So we're gonna do a couple things. We're gonna go to checklist. I'm gonna do the full everything, the whole spiel, so you guys can see it before engines start. Pre-flight. So we're gonna do a couple things. You guys can see my whole screen. So I'm gonna do the favor of dragging over my lovely SkyVector page. Yes, it's amazing. This is my own custom livery. Not really a custom livery, but it's just a livery that happens to be personalized for me. We're gonna do a couple things. First of all, I made a route for us already, and I just made it direct, which is what I plan to do. It's just gonna be a flight following route today. I would go on VATSIM, but I really don't feel like the whole FNO thing, whatever's going on. I don't know. It's more chill to do this. Plus, I only really like flying VFR when there's legitimate amounts of ATC because I can really know who to contact and when. So we could do routes, but it's just like I said, we're gonna do VFR. I keep screwing that up. And yeah, so like I said, 27 minutes. I'm gonna keep that a little bit slow so we can talk and stuff in flight. Pre-flight. So that's our pre-flight basically, and we're gonna do our exterior walk around as well. I don't know if that's actually legitimately in the checklist. Give me a second. I can check that out for you. Hang on, I'm just gonna set a view for that real quick so I can jump back and forth. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna go to walk-arounds, and we're gonna start off right here. I'm gonna put the flaps down. Okay. It's not working. Why? Wonderful. Okay, hang on. Really? Okay, that's annoying. Hang on one second, guys. Yeah, okay. Give me 2 seconds, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, hello, you guys can hear me. Little explanation real quick. My yoke has decided today's an excellent day to just not work properly. I'm gonna get that working right now before we get going. Really what I just need to happen is I need my axes to respond, which now they are. I think we just fixed it. Okay, so give me 2 seconds and I'm gonna go ahead and get my headphones back on as they are. What's up? Okay. And now I have all that. Okay, yeah. Okay. Flaps. And now we're gonna go back to the walk-arounds. We can inspect that now. We're gonna just do a little movement on the flap, check for any evident damage, anything of that sort. We'll get sorted out there. I always like to. There are on some planes like no push stickers on the ailerons, but IRL I always like to move it just a little bit, which is completely allowable, completely fine. But I always just like to make sure that they can move, These are the tip tanks. Not all Comanches have these. Obviously, mine has to have them because it's cool. There's barely any fuel in there. You might be able to see some at the very bottom. Nah, okay. So we're going to go ahead. There is some fuel in them. I know that because I saw on the iPad. Let me go to the bottom here. I should be able to sump it. Oh, I have to go to the iPad. Wait. Yeah, you got to go to the second view. Voila. And you see we can just, please stop. Looks good to me. Dump it out. Wingtip light, no damage or anything evident that would cause concern. Get rid of the tie down there real quick. We'll open up the main tank. This should have visible fuel in it. Optimistically. Yep, there it is. Hello. We'll go ahead and shut that. Get rid of the chocks. We will go to this view to sump the... Gotta go ahead and set it to... Yeah, okay. Now I gotta set it to the main tanks. Now I set it to the main tanks. I should be able to do this again. There we are. And just have a quick look at it. There's nothing weird, which to me seems to indicate that we can continue because the fuel is not contaminated. Prop, everything looks good. Macaulay prop, great props. Planes, 3-blade, 4-blade. I know the Beechcraft just switched to Macaulay props for the King Air and it gave them a lot more performance. Open that up. Check the oil. If it leaks oil, it has oil. Remember that, guys? 9 quarts. What does a checklist I think says 9 to 12, so that seems legit. Like I just said, if it leaks oil, it has oil. Fuel visible there as well. Av gas, 100 low lead. Get rid of those shocks. Kill the tie down and PETA cover. That's going to be pretty important. You'll notice some important things in the cockpit will not work if you leave that cover on. So just FYI. Light looks good. Open the tank. Can't see anything, so that's pointless. We'll sump it. Looks good. Hello. Yes. Yeah. I still can't really hear too well. Yeah. It's still kind of broken. I have the headphone off my left ear. Why aren't you a mod? Did you switch your account or something? Hang on. There we go. Okay. So that moves. That's still good. We have... Okay, new account. So I've fixed that for you just now. Flaps move. There's no visible damage on any of those wing surfaces. Everything back here looks good as well. We have our 2 antennas, which are neither damaged nor looking off. We have... This is something I've never noticed existed on this plane until like 2 days ago. Almost every plane has them, and it's driving me crazy. And I had no idea this little wire here exists. Like it had, CJ4 has it, all those planes have it. And I didn't realize it's just the other day, and it drove me crazy. I'm like, what the hell is this? Move our elevator up and down a little bit. See, it moves. In there, there's something called the Jesus bolt. You need the bolt, and it's called the Jesus bolt for a reason. In here, we have rivets and stuff like that. This is just for fuselage inspection purposes. Baggage, I'm not going to skip that step. It always messes up the weight and balance that I already predetermined for the plane. So that's all. I'm going to hit the B key to set the altimeter because I'm lazy. We have 16 knots of wind right now, so this should be a little bit sporty. Pre-flight, we got passengers, aka myself. I have briefed myself and you guys a couple minutes ago. And Skyvector controls lock is all off. Parking brake is hold up, pull and set. Okay, gear switch is down. Flaps are up. Radios are off. Autopilot's off. Avionics off. Off. Circuit breakers are circuit breakers. Meh. All right. Be on and off. No problem, man. I get it. Yeah, I get it. Rotating beacon on. I don't get why they make you do that before you turn on the master switch, but whatever. Fuel selectors. I switched them earlier to the main tanks. We'll burn off those. God forbid we ever need the auxiliary tanks on the wings. I'll switch it, but I don't think that should be a problem. Mixture, rich, throttles cracked, prop full forward. We have carped, which is off, master switch, and fuel pump. Watch the fuel pressure rise. And then we turn the fuel pump off. So give that 10 seconds. I'll wait till it gets between 0 and 5. There we go. There's the fuel pressure. 3, 2, 1. Goodbye, fuel pump. Okay. Fuel pressure was checked already. Primer 1 to 5 strokes. We'll go ahead and just 1. We'll just do 2. Okay. Serious right now. Mags both. And we'll go prop area. And everything else is good. Okay. Usually I scream that as loud as I can at the airport when I actually fly, but yeah, whatever. I don't have the voice for that right now. Starter engaged. Yeah. Okay, so this is my favorite part. Hand on the throttle. See, I'll just do it this way. I'll do it cross arm it. Hold start. Pump the throttle. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Stable. 1000 RPM. Mixture leans. And we will go make sure all the gauges are in the green. Oil temperature for anyone that's flying a prop plane, you would know, or should know at least, that the oil temperature will be pretty cold until the engine has run for a few minutes. Everything else in the checklist is complete. Primer is locked. I've actually kept that unlocked IRL. I got to the holding short point, and long story short, we were doing the run up and the plane would not run properly, and we had to go back. And then I was like, oh, the primer's unlocked. My bad. So yeah, we thought the plane was broken, and it wasn't very funny, and it was all my fault. So ever since then, on the checklist for my flight school, that item has been bolded. It's probably important. Squawk 1200 altitude reporting. Map. Okay, we're gonna just put it in our flight plan. I love the GTN 750. If only it didn't cost $100 grand to put in a plane IRL, I'd get it. The Republic. We're going to 42 Bravo. Something famous about this airport. I've flown this exact route IRL in a less fast but still very nice aircraft. We did it VFR just like we're doing today, and I had lunch there and I flew out the same day. It was pretty cool. And what's it called? You'll notice that like there's a, we'll see when we get there, but there's just a very, very cool painting of 42 Bravo, the airport code, on top of the quote-unquote FBO. I don't know what the building's purpose is. You can't walk into it, but whatever. Radios all that are on. Transponder did that. Altimeter, heading indicator, landing gear lamp, nav lights. I'll turn them on. Parking brake release and initial roll stuff. Okay, so we just did everything basically. So, excuse me again. Sorry, I'm sorry, guys. I've been sick for a while. So I'm gonna go ahead and kill the parking brake, and I'm gonna just taxi forward, applying a little bit of throttle, hit the brakes, die. Okay, brakes work, and I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick wind check right here. Winds are 057. So I'm gonna see what runway we're using IRL. Give me 2 seconds to get that information. How do I get that information? I just flight radar 24. Yeah, I'm planning to go to San Juan. Must be nice. Must be huge. All right. Well, unsurprisingly, they say they're departing 1-4. Okay, so we'll depart 1-4. And that means we'll taxi straight ahead and make a left onto Bravo. And Alpha. No, it's Alpha, right? Alpha. We'll take Alpha all the way down to the run-up points and the hold short point after we do the run-up. Make sure I don't taxi very fast. IRL, I have the tendency to do that. It's because the 1,000 RPM idle. You know, you're not actually idling the engine, but you're not supposed to idle the engine. Drew, welcome, and we have a Metar in chat. My man, I appreciate that. Good to see you, bro. It's been a little while. Yeah, great to see you, man. Thanks for that. So, temperature 17, dew points 1-2, wind 70 at 10. That's about 70-degree crosswind. I'll take it. Honestly, there's nothing else that would be better. Yeah, no, clear skies, everything's good. I mean, I look outside. It does not look like we have 10-mile visibility, but I'm not going to question it. Whatever. See, cylinder head temp is warming up right now. We're going to do a lot of technical talk on this flight, really just regarding, you know, engine, because that's kind of important when you're flying a plane, but it's also something that AccuSim has modeled very well with this airplane, and it's something we can absolutely, you know, utilize because it's important, and we can, you know, look at cylinder head temps through the climb and how they change as we lean the mixture or adjust the prop or gain airspeed with more airflow or less airflow going through the engine. All that stuff. There's some great videos on the YouTube channel that I've watched up on before this actually, and they just have a lot of technical based things that I personally found incredibly useful. So gusts 20 knots now, so it's definitely a little sporty out right now. There we go, nose into the winds. Parking brake, and we'll go run up. Position is in the wind, brakes are held, fuel quantity is checked. We have it on the main tanks, which are both not full but not empty. Excellent. Mixtures full rich, prop is full forward. We're going to take the throttle up to 2,000 RPM gradually. And as we do that, we're going to look at a bunch of cool things. We have the engine monitor right here. And as we can see, we're burning about 12 gallons an hour. Everything here is in the green. Everything here is in the green. As I talked about it earlier, the more the engine runs, the higher the oil temperature gets. And the oil temperature right now is at about 100 degrees. Actually, that wouldn't be accurate. It might be accurate. But maybe we'll call it 85 degrees in the green, like I said. I like it below 200, but you know, sometimes on a hot day, it'll get pretty hot. Cylinder head temperature is well within the green. We're not pushing anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to check the magnetos. We're going to go to the left, and you'll see the RPM drops about 100. We're going to go back to both, and the same thing will happen on the right magneto. It'll drop about 100. We'll go back to both once again. We're going to go ahead now and cycle the prop. So I'm going to take the prop lever on my throttles here and bring it all the way back. You'll see the manifold pressure increases while the prop RPM decreases. We also burn a lot less fuel because the actual blades on the prop are rotating. The prop becomes much less efficient at a very, very low prop RPM setting. Bring it back to full, engine's running stable. I like to just do it twice. So go back. Now I bring it back to 1800 RPM. Actually, I'll just cycle it one more time and I'll take it to 1800 guys. It's a little bit slow, guys. I'm sorry. But this is what I do. And I'll bring it back to 1800. Nope, not that much, not that much, not that much. Whoa, whoa, whoa. There we go, right there. 1800, and everything is stable at this RPM. So now I'm going to go ahead and bring it back up to full. Carb heat check. We're going to pull it all the way out. You'll notice right away we have an RPM drop. We're using power from the engine to heat the engine. the carburetor, I should say. Controls free and correct. Full left, we had deflection on that side. Full right, same story. Full back, full forward. See the prop wash going through. You know, haha, yeah, it's pretty cool. Elevator trim, neutral. It's ridiculous, but it's up there. Gutter trim is as required. Door latched. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the deal with that handle is, but flaps not required. Fuel selectors are desired. Tank fuel pump on. Mixture full rich. Prop full forward. Car keys off. Indicators check. All right, cool. That's good. So we're gonna bring the prop back to 1,000 RPM now. The run-up is complete. Everything else is good. Before takeoff, I'm going to get all the lights on as we hit the hold short bar there. So let me just bring us forward. Alright, we get landing lights and strobes on. Heat not required. Carb heat not required. Ooh. Didn't see that. Takeoff. Throttle full open. We're going to rotate at 85 as per the checklist, and we're going to immediately pitch for 125 knots, which is more of an en route climb, but I want to just kind of get up and out. It's a lightly loaded plane, so I'm not concerned about climb rate at a higher airspeed. And we're going to go ahead and slowly advance the throttle now to full. Listen to that awesomeness. Airspeed is alive, engine instruments are in the green. We're going to do some crosswind correction. What the frick is happening? Alright, let's just rotate the plane. Yeah, that's not how a plane would really behave IRL. We're going to go ahead and get the gear up. And we're just going to get that nose somewhat down. We're not going to pitch too steeply, but we are just going to let that airspeed increase without fully leveling off the plane. Kind of getting to 120 knots now. We're going to pull the nose back up. Watching the cylinder head temps, which are still relatively in the green. We're going to wait until about 800 feet AGL, which, like I said, we're such a lightly loaded plane at the moment that I'm not really thinking it's going to take us too long to get there. We're going to just keep on center line. We don't want to be messy, attention to detail. We're going to go direct. I'm going to start making a left turn, but I am going to go direct to 42 Bravo as we make that left turn, and I'm going to activate that, and we're going to make sharper left turn. Still going to keep the nose up though. We're going to keep climbing. Once we're en route, I will adjust the throttle back to something a bit more economical and healthy for the engine. Like I said, very fast climb speed. Everything is fast, but nothing wrong with that. We'll get back on our route course here. It's basically a left base departure from the pattern, left crosswind departure from the pattern, excuse me. Okay, now that we are en route, I'm going to go ahead and pull the throttle back, and I'm going to pull the RPMs back as well. So there's a couple different settings you can use. Obviously you're going to see our vertical speed decrease as we attempt to maintain our airspeed while at this prop setting. I'm going to get the autopilot on just so I can talk to chat and be a little bit more interactive as a person. Turn the aircraft a little bit. The wind is blowing us around a bit, it seems. And we'll just make sure our climb power is correct. I like to go 24 and 24. Keep that throttle in. And we're going to go to high accuracy and make sure that that is set to GPS. And now the plane is going to follow a GPS track. So I can really just let go of the yoke and use my trim setting as we gain altitude. We're going to go up to 5,500 feet today. Nothing extreme. I'm going to redirect to 42 Bravo, which is the destination. See a slight left turn, but the airplane's not going to turn too much because the wind is going to really blow us on that track more than anything else. Still climbing pretty steadily here. Like I said, a good high-speed climb is right where the flap speed ends, so like right around this right here, which is, I don't know if it's a mile an hour or knots earlier, but it's at 127 miles an hour, I guess you could say. And that gets us, you know, I have to keep adjusting the manifold pressure because I do want to keep it at 24, right? As we gain altitude, we lose manifold pressure, but we are still able to increase the throttle without worrying about cylinder temps. So we can still keep that manifold pressure in, but eventually we will have the throttle pinned and we still won't be able to hold 24 inches manifold just because of the pressure at altitude. The air pressure decreases naturally. I love this engine gauge. I mean, really, the gauges on this plane are so well thought out because, I mean, you know, it just says every little thing you need. You know, you got percent cruise power, you got takeoff settings at wherever you may be. I mean, I'll look back at the stream later, I'm sure, and take a look at how things were during the takeoff and what I can improve in the future. You know, it's always nice to stream stuff, obviously, because you can kind of see every little thing you did and mistakes you made and stuff like that. 1,000 feet, I did forget to turn the fuel pump off. That's more of a climb checklist item, which we will go through now, but, you know, 24 and 24 is what it says. CHD, cylinder head temperature, we've checked already, and everything there is in the green. Make sure I'm not going to lean it. I'm just going to bump up the cylinder temperatures, and it's just not going to be necessary. We'll go to the cruise checklist now, and we're just going to, really it's more of a cruise checklist than the fuel pump. I keep it in. Right, I don't like turning everything off and going climb mode as soon as the plane, you know, reaches 1,000 feet, because you never know. I always like to keep that fuel going to the engine. That looks like IMC, and I don't like that, so I'm actually going to go ahead and back off the throttle and start trimming down, and we're going to go down to 3,500 feet, because that is not VFR up there. So we're going to just back off on that throttle. We can let the airspeed increase a little bit, but yeah, we can't fly into IMC. So we're just going to keep that nose down. We're leveled off at the moment. That wasn't exactly my goal. That's okay. So 3,500 will do. I didn't really realize that was going to be an issue. It's totally my fault. But IRL, we'd make a correction such as this. Obviously, at the moment, we'd be in islip class Charlie, so we'd be talking to New York approach. We'd have a flight following at this point. We'd be checking in probably about 2 or 3 miles back on 120.05, and we'd request a flight following the Port to Bravo. We'd talk to this guy until we get up to like the inner shoreline. I don't know where I'm pointing. You guys can see where I'm pointing, but I'll move the mouse. Like right up there, we can transfer to another approach frequency and so on and so forth. See, we're hauling ass now, but we're still within speed limits and all that good stuff. I'm going to change the gear switch to off. Yeah, all's well with me, Drew. I can't complain. Hoping the same with you, my friends. Cannot complain. Is that a GoPro? Movie security camera. Okay, we're still gonna keep descending, I guess. Yeah, we're speeding. I'm gonna back the throttle off even more. We're going like 12 inches manifold. Fuck it. Alright, 500 feet to go. Obviously, power for altitude, I'll trim up a tad bit, but really I'm just going to put the power back in to keep us at altitude. And I'll turn altitude mode on the autopilot, which is really best done through the iPad because this autopilot's a piece of crap. I don't know why they had to give us this autopilot. I don't know why we couldn't have the nice one to replace the old radio unit. Just a nice little autopilot like the Bolt 172 has. Just a nice little autopilot with some fancy buttons. Really nice for those cross-country flights, you know? Whatever. What can I say? Alright, getting down at 3,500. We're below the cloud deck now, and this should be a pretty smooth flight after the fact. I'll put some throttle back into it now, and you should see. Yep, there we go. And I'm going to go ahead and just go to controls, and I'm going to hit altitude on the autopilot because I don't really know how to do it on the actual autopilot. I'm just trying to figure it out. So we're going to go like 22 inches manifold. I'm going to keep the throttle. It's going to be at 75%, 3/4 throttle. And I'm going to back the RPMs off. I usually don't do this, but we're not in a hurry. So I'm going to go about 2,200 RPM. There we go, right there. Just a nice, relaxed cruise power. And 23 inches manifold is fine. We're still burning 18 gallons an hour, so what I can do, even though we're only at 3,000, I can pull the mixture back to some extent and still maintain horsepower. And I'm going to keep pulling it out until that little horsepower indication starts dropping, or until any other indication screams out to me that the mixture is back too far and we're behind Richard Peak, the lean efficiency, if that's it. There we go. There's a drop, so push it back forward a little tiny bit. And now we went from 18 to 13 gallons per hour while still maintaining the same ground speed, or true airspeed as well, I suppose. Some slight clouds up there, still should be able to maintain VFR. VFR-ish, that's all I can say. And yeah, we're all nice and backed out at cruise now. That's the plane from the outside. What up, SC? Welcome, welcome. Pretty good frame rate right now. I mean, it definitely gets a little laggy close to the ground. If you're in an airliner or something and you're at like 390, smooth as butter. I do have some pretty high stream output settings. I think I'm in 1440p right now, so if you guys are watching at 1440p, you're not taking advantage of my GPU suffering. Take advantage of it, please. So yeah, cruise checklist, I've gone through everything. Persistence by livery has broken this airplane for me, so I turned it off and I just did overall airframe persistence. Still burning off those two center tanks, main tanks I should say, which have plenty of fuel in them. If we're burning 13 gallons an hour in our ETA, I can get us an ETA right now. That's not going to get an ETA. Utilities? Light timers. That's not it. Well, we can do actually utilities, fuel planning. Heat pause and use sensor data. We have 57.7 gallons aboard, so we burned that whole climb phase of the flight. We really only burned 2 gallons, which is honestly really impressive to me. 138 knot ground speed, so even at a very backed out. God damn it! Can you guys hear me still? Am I still screaming smoothly? Even at a relatively backed out cruise setting, we're still at. Yeah, sorry. So, a couple things real quick. We have basically everything all set. The only thing I just realized now is that my throttle is not connected to my yoke correctly, so it might flicker in and out. Obviously, during the approach phase of the flight, it would be awesome if such things did not happen. They will happen. So, you know, yeah. Range, I think that's broken. I don't think we're going to be able to travel 25,000 miles. I just don't see it happening. I think it's broken. I'm no expert, but I think it's broken. Stream status is poor. That's not good. I'm not. It works fine, but it's bullshit. So, a couple things with the Goodspeed Airport approach. There's nothing major that we need to talk about, but what does need to be talked about is that this airport is in a river valley, which is surrounded by relatively high hills. So when I click on this, it's going to talk hopefully about something that I'll find useful, but we'll see. Overnight parking fee, you pay it yourself. So it's all about, dimensions. So we have 4,500 feet of runway. It doesn't feel like that. And the winds right now are, of course, not, oh, what up, Fires? Good to see you, man. It's been a while. Runway. It's not two runways. Oh, that's the water runway you see. This is, I was gonna say, it can't be 4,500 feet long. 2,120 feet seems much more reasonable. Asphalt is in good condition. Edge lighting is in low intensity. So at night you will get some lights, but it's not going to be something. I wouldn't fly to that airport at night anyways. That's why I'm flying during the day right now. Privately owned, but you can still fly the publicly. Parking fee, birds and waterfowl, excellent. Airport lights 24 hours. 122.8 Unicom, so it's just really, really basic stuff. There's really not much in terms of remarks here, but I've been here, so I know that I'm going to create my own remarks. And my own remarks state that we need to be careful on this approach. I'm going to actually bump the, I'm going to go back up to 24 and 24. This is... Now this is like when I'm in a hurry, this will be my cruise speed, typically. So now we're up to 15 gallons an hour, but we're at a low altitude. But we've gained speed already, and it's going to slowly creep up. We must have a significant headwind right now. I think we're probably 40 knots in the ditch right now. So I consider any elements of ground speed to be pretty welcomed right now. I mean, 143 knots still at this power setting is not bad, but we're fighting demons over here, guys. We're fighting demons over here. Yeah. It's beautiful. It's nice here. Yeah, it's nice. So as you can see, like, this is just incredibly detailed. I mean, you can see the little pores from the rivets in the wing, the little tiny metal indents, stuffs like that. That just really, really, really make you feel like you're in an actual plane flying this, You get fresh air vents. So I'm going to open it, and there's fresh air. So like, I'll see if you can maybe hear one. Should be able to, I reckon. You guys can hear me okay, I'm sure, but I'm just going to make my volume louder and more annoying. And there's a fresh air vent. You hear that? And you can direct it. It's ball chiller if you need one. It's very nice. In the Cherokee, the vent is like down here, so your feet get cold, or your feet get hot. Why do I keep opening that? Let me fix that. That's annoying. But yeah, in the Comanche, it's much nicer. The Comanche, I mean, for a four-seater plane, it's just a lot beefier. It's just got more. It just feels like a sturdier plane and flies much farther. Just they tend to be very old and high on airframe hours because they're old. Yeah, we gained like 6 knots from that. That's pretty pathetic. It's pretty bad. Let's see. The iPad should tell us a headwind indication. We're fighting 20 knots of headwind and 15 knots of crosswind. Overall, 24 knots of wind. Pretty much a quartering headwind at the moment. Not optimal to a degree. airspeed is pretty high right now. I really wish they made the Comanche 400 because that has the airframe support to actually keep that yellow line border up at 220 knots. So you get an extra 40 knots of playroom, and in a headwind like this on a Comanche 400, you'd be burning probably 20 gallons an hour. So, you know, add 4 or 5 gallons, but you'd be going 165 knots instead of 145 knots. And with this wind, you could probably break 200 knots if you really had the throttle forward. And obviously at higher altitudes, like, you know, if we did the return leg IFR in a Comanche 400 at like 10,500 feet, you'd be home in 5 minutes, you know? It's pretty cool. I still don't know what the wind is, but I'm going to go on windy.com and I'm going to go ahead and check out what the overall forecast is. We do have a tropical storm moving into the New York area tomorrow, so that's kind of... it's pretty much a crosswind. We're going to land northbound. It's faster, and it makes sense. And plus, we can deal with the tiny tailwind if we have to. It's still... you know, as long as you stand on the brakes and do your regular short field stuff. I need a distance from the airport, and I don't have that. There we go. I have 20.8 nautical miles. So I'm going to descend probably 10 miles out. Maybe I'm actually going to descend 12 miles out because we're going a little fast. Lead time to slow down. Flowing to that airport right there. That is Groton. Flowing there. Pretty cool airport to fly into. Bridgeport is one of my favorite in the Connecticut shore, though, because it's just, I mean, the wildlife as a pilot isn't exactly welcome because there's a lot of birds, but it's just, you know, you kind of have that nice ambiance to it. Keeping the fuel selectors on the main tanks, all that good stuffs. Everything is fine. Yeah, no, we're vibing up here, guys. I have not flown GA in a sim, at least, since August 18th, so it's been a little while. I really haven't flown much. I've flown, I think this is my 3rd or 4th flight this month. So, in case you couldn't tell, I have a lot going on. Let me turn on the AC up here. Yeah, no, I have a lot going on, but it's okay. It's manageable, right? So it's manageable. Thank you guys for 8 likes, by the way. I know it's like the first stream, so I'm not expecting a lot of likes. Nor do I ever expect a lot of likes, but we got a lot of people that have to stop in today that I haven't seen in quite a while. I mean, I'm gonna stream once weekly still, so we're gonna get back to doing stuff like that. We're gonna get back to doing uploads, all that good stuff. That's a good face. Yeah, no, that's good. Approach briefing, I did that already. Everything else is good. Maybe I can just put a runway into this thing. Procedures. Approach. No approach because that airport is unknown to everybody. Matt Duffmiller. Should know him. He's like one of the youngest people to fly solo around the world. He's at Bonanza 367 Hotel Papa. He flew here. He has the video. It's cool. Check it out. Did it like 6 years ago, but it's cool. If you got a Bonanza in here, we shouldn't have an issue. The Bonanza, man, that thing takes a while to get off the ground, but it climbs and flies pretty well. Just, you know, sometimes you have to really pull the yoke back to get the plane off the ground if you got 6 people in the back of the hose machine. It's bags. How many instants? I don't know what the hell that's on about, but we definitely had some serious compass drift right now. That's something, right? Yeah, we're gonna fix that. That's a problem. Big problem. Right there. Somewhat accurate. Now we're up to 150 knots because we got off the water. So now we're moving. We got about 12.8 miles. So descent checklist / approach checklist. We're gonna get the fuel pump on. We're gonna go ahead and enrichen the mixture. And bring the prop full forward as we bring the throttle back. And I'm going to go ahead and watch that airspeed drop. And take off the altitude switch, which is now going to cause a nose to dive, but we're going to do it very controllably, right? Very controllably. So I'm just going to slowly bring that down to about 1,000 feet per minute. Hit the B key to get that altimeter checked. We're still going to keep that ground speed up on the descents. And we'll get that throttle back in a bit. Everything else is looking good though. I'm pretty happy with the way things are looking right now. Lights are on, fuel pump is on. Fuel selectors are good, engine is looking very healthy. Flat pole landing into Goodspeed Airport. We should be landing there in about 5 minutes. And after that, I'll head out and yeah, I think the next stream will probably be next Saturday, maybe next Friday night, but it would have to be pretty late next Friday night. We'd be talking like late as fuck, probably 10 o'clock next Friday night. That is if I don't pass out before then, because I've had the tendency to do that a little bit lately. So we're just gonna try not to do that. What I am gonna do right now though is I'm gonna go ahead and censor the heading bug. Alright. And where's the actual, there we go. And I'm gonna go like a little bit that way because I don't want to fly directly to the airport, obviously. I need to fly to something that gets me on a left base. What the hell was that? Okay. So we're going to go to heading mode now, and the plane will turn to the right. One second. Still going to keep the descent in. Down to 1,100 feet, actually just 1,000 feet AGL. We're going to fly at that altitude for a little while. Still keeping that speed pretty high. And I'm going to actually shallow out the descent now, because like I said, there are hills. So I don't want to get to 1,100 feet right away. Especially if you have an engine failure right now, although with the speed we have. So I'm going to go ahead now and back off the throttle. We'll get that speed rolling back, so that we don't enter a right base. We're going to get about another 10 degrees of turning. And I'll get the autopilot off in just a moment here. You guys can get landing rate guesses in, by the way. I have the Volanta open, so I will have full control over seeing my landing rate, which is nice. Alright, now I'll level the plane off. And I'll actually kill the autopilot with that. So there it goes. The aircraft is now mine to control and not the computer's, even though there's not much of a computer in that piece of crap. Get down to 1,000 feet now, and we'll kind of just, like I said, you have to come in slow, so I'm going to just, like I said, I'm backing off the throttle right until that gear horn sounds. And this just will slowly let the airspeed back down. Once we get into the white arc, we'll bring some flaps out here. Cool. There's the white arc. We'll go flap 10. There's the airport. Like I said, we're just going to kind of keep this on a slow drop. Gear are coming down now. Prop and mixture full forward. And we're just going to gently back off on the throttle. This is PPL stuff right here. Feel port. It is a really weird approach. So we're going to go flap 25 now. I want to be fully configured before I make this turn, but I don't want to be going too slow because of a steep turn like this. I'm surrounded by hills. I need recovery buffer room in case something goes wrong. past those big hills now, so we can really get the nose down and bring the throttle all the way back. Since I have the gear down, the gear horn will no longer go off and drive me crazy. Flaps are now full. We're going to approach at around 105 knots. That's like right there. And we're just going to keep a slight eye on the left side of our airplane. Now that we're past those hills, like I said, really low power setting and just let the nose drop. Going a little fast as I want to be, just around 105 knots. And we're going to slowly start making that turn as soon as I hit land right here. There's lands. We're going to keep making that left turn. Short approach, dropping that nose down. Now allowing the speed to bleed off a bit, but not being too careless with it. Still keeping the nose to the left. Idling the throttle now. Dropping the aircraft. And with a little bit of flare, we don't want to be too, generous on the flare. There we go. Beautiful landing. What the flip? Yeah, this happened earlier. It's alright. Just keep the nose steady. And keep the crosswind correction in. That was a little spicy. But that was a smooth as butter landing. We're going to lean the mixture. Voila. Landing lights are off, strobes are off, fuel pump is off. I mean, that was, honestly, wow, that was pretty fun. After landing checklist, flaps are up, strobes are off, landing lights are off, fuel pump is off, mixture is leaned, trim is, neutral? It's like the weirdest thing I've ever seen. We'll park right over here. That's what I was saying earlier, 42B on the FBO looking thing. This is awesome. No tie downs really here, so I just kind of have to park the airplane and put the parking brake on. Hell, that was a pretty cool fun. Right. Get parking brake. Okay, cool. 1,000 RPM. Kill everything. Awesome. We're going to go ahead and get the rotating beacon off. Master switch off. Parking brake is on earlier. We checked that. There's the master switch. We got the control locks on here. Wheel checks, we don't have any of that. We have a control lock and a PITA cover. Turn off the magnetos. I forgot to turn the key. I don't know why I did that. I mean, that was perfect. I'm going to take a quick screenshot. And guys, I'd like to thank you all for watching tonight. I'll be back next week. This was a great stream. It was really just awesome to stream after about 9 months. So I'm really glad that those who did join could join. And those who couldn't, I hope I see in the coming streams. Again, guys, thank you so much for the support and everything tonight. Really appreciate it. This was a fun flight. We're going to do a lot more GA stuff in the future. And I'll catch you later. Have a good one, guys. Peace out.